So what do you think the most gnarliest part of the track was?
Because on our page he was complaining about something that the wheel was messed up, but it was scratched or something like that.
I don't know.
Buffering.
I had.
Wait for the camera to go.
All caps.
I'd say right there at the
actually
top,
Montoya. He's like, hey,
at the
they
top
ship
of the
those
hill
out
where you
in
have to
parts
cut back
already.
in
Like,
and
they
go
might not
through
know
all
it's
those trees,
scratched.
and
Yeah,
it
hold
gets
them and
real
they-
rocky right there. That I think that's
So what was
probably
just take
my
that
worst part right
Can of
through
black
there.
paint off your shelf and your garage.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
watch
Like
yourself.
polished
dang.
wheels.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah,
That
right,
wouldn't be a good
right
idea.
No, that's not a good
after you
idea.
get past the
Okay, I
rocks
got
and
it.
you hit that hill, that's where it gets fun. And then you get down past the big hill and the U-turn.
That
Most
first
of
time
them
I went
were
through,
returning.
I was like watching it, launching it, and all of a sudden there's a U-turn. I was like,
All right.
over that berm, I
Yeah.
remember that next time.
Yeah.
I seriously think that Bucks Rock just got worse and worse and worse.
Well, it could.
It sure did.
Oh, it really did.
What was your favorite part, Rick? Rick
What's
Watson.
that, man? You got to speak up. I'm half deaf in one ear and can't hear out the other.
Yeah. What was your favorite part?
What is the favorite part of this whole event?
Yeah.
No, the track.
Oh,
Yeah, what part of the track?
event.
Yeah, I mean,
I think spending quality time with us.
Yeah, that's what I was
Definitely.
going to say.
That's my best
Definitely.
part.
I
My
will-
best part is seeing everybody.
I was actually,
Right.
if Brandon would have told me right there and said, hey, man, I don't want to race. But watching his boys come out here and jockey the bikes for me, to me, I was more excited about getting out there and watching them race. It's like, yeah, go.
right?
I like
Man, they did a great job
Yeah.
too, man. They
Well,
killed it.
15 juniors
There's
this year, and I
some
think they only
fast
had like
kids.
6
There
or
was
7 last
His
year.
oldest.
So how many bikes overall
You know what? I don't know, but
15, I think, in
On
the
the
juniors.
juniors.
on the juniors?
So I
I
got
forgot to
to,
count those.
It was
and
a
I got
15.
to
14 to 15.
100. I got to 100, and at the end, getting everybody together, and there was 10 to 15 extra guys that hadn't pulled a number. They had to get it. They were late, so they just got it at the end. So you're looking at over 100 bikes there.
So around 125 without the juniors.
Yeah,
And it
I
was
would say
15
with that,
juniors
yeah.
because they were all getting lined up. We're getting them
That
all
was a
up. So I
long
counted
line.
them. So.
It was a long line. We were like, we're gonna wait for it to die down. Hour later,
Yeah.
nope, dude, that thing just kept growing. I was like, oh my god, it was
My race
wild.
partner, his boy was out there, and he was right at the first or second fighting with what we basically counted out. And apparently, we'd watch him go in, keep watching so he could check them off, and then like, wait a minute, he should have been by here already. And the next thing I know, they're over there at the side by side. Come here, and I was like, what? We're trying to watch for. And I was like, oh, he's sitting in the passenger seat in the front.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
boy.
fell and maybe had he messed up his wrist or whatever, but he's okay.
smacked
He was
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
He was like sore, but
Yeah, he
he's
was
okay.
like,
Oh yeah.
so I got his dad over there. She was doing the watching, counting his laps or whatever. He's like asking his dad, "How's the bike? Is the bike okay?"
Right.
Oh, we already had this discussion. That ain't nothing but nuts and bolts and paint.
But his other boy got second place.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, everybody did a really good job. Yeah, this was his first endurance race.
Oh,
Yeah, this is
wow.
my first endurance race.
He's
Back to
never
your
done it
question,
before.
What was the best part? I
Yeah,
guess?
what was your favorite part of the track? Yeah.
I guess where you come down, what is that? The power line stretch.
Yeah.
Hang the right, and you kind of go down them whoop-de-doos, and you come down that last one, and you got that straightaway.
Yep.
That's where I'm like, that's the safest part. Where I can
Rocket
just, like,
ship.
Yeah, because that was pretty smooth this year.
Yes.
Heck yeah, dude.
Thankfully, there was none of the where you got like zag to the right and like jump the black pipe.
Yeah.
Because I would see, I don't know how many people I'd come up and I'm like, oh man, y'all need to move over, and they would hit it, and the front wheel would go zing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, you gotta like stab it and hit it straight across.
Yeah.
How many
guess that was
times
my
do you have to
favorite
hit that slide before you realize that you got
It took me one time. There was a lot of panic, and then after that, I was like,
remember
okay.
When I was a kid, I ride my Honda 50, and I did something like that, and okay, let's don't do that again.
So what was your favorite part, Jack?
Man, like I said though, so right after, so I really like bucking bronco. Like I could come down bucking bronco using my weight as an advantage. I could jump and just hop down that thing, and to my advantage, my weight on that. I'll tell you, you can lift the front end of that bike real easy, man. Just bringing it down, and then shooting down that hill, man. That was something that I could just go wide open and just rip past people, man. I loved it, man.
Part two.
It was a blast. What was the most challenging?
Luckily, I have a partner. I was like, he goes, "You want to go?" And I was like, "No, man. Get out there and go." He's like,
Well,
"Okay."
the spectators kept getting closer to the edge of the track, and I knew as soon as you got 70 people that are far behind, they came out wide. And I'm pushing these people back, and they're just barely missing us.
And
Yeah,
just trying
it
to
was
see the
crazy.
scoreboard. That was kind of tough too.
Well, that was a constant thing trying to, and then we finally
I guess the biggest challenge is trying to go around corners, or you come around and you got to go down something. The next thing you know, there's a guy on his hands and knees trying to put his chain back on, right in the middle of the path, and it's like, okay, now where do I go?
Right.
I'll run him over.
Well, there's sticks and rocks, to get off the track.
Right. Right. It was gnarly, man. I loved every minute of it, though.
Yeah, it was a good event.
Yes, sir.
Yes, perfect. The weather was awesome.
The amount of rain that we got.
Yep.
Thank you for praying for rain, sir.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Even after that 3 hours, I seriously wanted to keep going.
Right?
I was just like, man, let's go. And I'm like,
Right?
man, we're done.
I know, I was
It was a
surprised when I
blast,
looked
though.
up and I was like, man, it's already been an hour and 42 minutes.
It goes by quick.
It really
Super
does.
fast.
It really does.
Rick,
I
how
mean,
many times did you go
I'm
down?
beat up.
Go down?
Beat up. But
I got it all sideways, and I was like, oh man, I kept it up, and I was like, man, I hope they never like fix the T-bone me. I was like, yanked it back over and took off, and I was like, oh, thank God nobody just. I was right in the corner. I just let it block the whole deal.
But to answer your question,
It fell down.
How did you push your hand for it?
I didn't eat my handlebar, someone else's.
Oh, was someone else?
How did that taste?
Coming down
Steel
the
driver.
fucking Bronco, and I was getting ready to pin it, and then he saw a rock and veered over towards me, and I had nowhere else to go, so I just pinned it. And when he came in, the handlebar went right here, and I kept going straight, and he jerked me.
You know, so basically, I was just trying to ride each other's bikes.
Yeah.
Right?
That'd have been a cool video.
Yeah, so I reached over and shut his kill switch off.
Perfect.
Yeah.
What was your favorite part, Jeremy?
Honestly, I love when you come down the two drop-offs, then you do the U-turn and then climb the hill right before all like the rock drop-offs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's set it there, and then even going down all the drop-offs, pucker up Buttercup, just slamming it down those and watching everybody, like that was my passing point every single time right there.
Right.
People going slow, but then you get those big bikes and the 10-inch wheels, I think, really helped that out, but just being able to fly down those, like, you don't feel them.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun, man.
Like those girls.
Yeah, it's just an all-around great experience, though.
It was, man.
I mean, I can't. I'm so
Shut
thankful
your
for Go Power Sports for letting us use their property.
Yep.
Those guys are
Yes, sir.
Somebody can, like, give me a,
So,
like, a
what
shot
about
here.
what do you think that was your scariest moment, just jabbing in, eating handlebars?
Yeah, I mean, that was.
Yeah.
There was a couple times I took some pretty good wipeouts, and the hard part too is when you're getting up and you're flying, but you just don't know what that person in front of you is gonna do. Like
Yeah.
you can tell the experienced riders versus somebody that doesn't
Right.
know what they're doing. So when you're coming up and you're thinking you're gonna be able to get around them, and at the last second they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna go this side."
Especially when you follow, they do that. And
Yeah.
They're like, okay, they're staying to the inside. And they're like, all right, well, the next one I'm going to pin it, and I'm going to go on the outside. Nope, I'm going to this side. I'm going to just come right into you. You're like, sorry.
Right.
There was a lot of people though that were good about like knowing you're right on them, and they'd pull over to
Yeah.
the side and let you go. So that
Yeah.
does make it a lot easier.
Yeah. I didn't notice there was some courtesy on there.
Exactly. 'Cause I had several that would like look back and they would like, kind of like
Yeah.
and I'm like, yeah, thanks, beep beep. I'd wave, but I ain't letting go of the handlebars.
And we blew our belt over on the very back stretch. I blew my belt, completely disintegrated, and then standing there watching everybody go by and being like, "Oh, is that a belt? Is that a belt in the back of their bike?" So I actually had someone able to pull over, and I got a belt from him in the middle of the track. So that was nice.
That's what's up.
when I
That was one of your guys. So
when you guys go out on the track, like,
Oh,
grab
it was
bag
Bob.
on the back.
Seriously?
When you guys get out there and cruise around, if you probably find a good selection of tools. I ended up putting a hole in that bag and lost everything but the spare.
yeah,
bag.
someone
I
probably. I
Uh,
think
So-
the
we
first
probably
six
helped
months-
somebody out, and they're
Right.
probably the ones that won. They're like, "Oh,
I
sweet,
only
a
had a
crescent
crescent
ridge."
ridge.
Yeah, that happened. Yeah,
Because I was like, How did
Cursed
somebody
us.
lose a whole chain?
Right.
Wow. And I'm
And
like,
then I'll notice that he pulled in, and I noticed I was like, those are your
Yeah.
parts on the track.
zip ties and it was an old
Taylor-
Harley bag.
When Taylor
front.
and Gabe
Right,
bought
the
that
zip tie
Leatherman.
would like slid
Oh,
over.
Because I
The
was
zip tie gets broken, so it rubbed the tire. So everything just like got done with. There was nothing left.
I think it's pretty similar. Mine was a
Boom.
Napa mechanical canvas bag.
Yeah.
A little bit of fire
Felt
talk.
out when we got back. Turned